Welcome to Palm Bay Live, celebrating 2 years in business.
Honor to present the gavel to the President of the Senate with a request that she preside over these proceedings.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The chair declares a quorum present. Or the same. I'm not used to this podium. It's pretty cool. You can have it back. The members and visitors in the gallery will please rise for the prayer. Today, the prayer will be offered by the Most Reverend Eric Pohlmeier, Bishop of the Diocese of St. Augustine. Bishop Pohlmeier, please approach the well to offer the prayer.
Lord our God, we turn to you today with anticipation and hope. I ask your blessing on these men and women who commit themselves to the service of the state of Florida. Lord, you are the author of life and the source of human flourishing. In the beginning, you created a world of order out of chaos. You entrusted the care of your creation to humanity to cooperate with you and share in your gifts. I ask you to guide these public servants in their responsibilities. Help them be good stewards of the resources of this state. Guide them in their efforts for justice, mercy, and the good of each person who is beloved to you. Give them the wisdom they need to recognize the value of every person, regardless of the differences that too often divide us. Send your spirit upon the proceedings of the coming weeks so that conflicts can be resolved with charity, so that selfish interests can give way to the common good. Draw from the hearts of these men and women the virtues of integrity and humility. Help them work toward the values that bring forth a greater society built on mutual respect and concern for the most vulnerable members of the human family. Receive the talents they place at the service of this state so that each citizen may thrive and grow. Give them insight to overcome every challenge and patience to know your will in the path ahead. May this work be for the glory of your name and the good of all your people. Amen.
Amen. The members and visitors in the gallery will please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led today by Senate Pro Tempore Dennis Baxley and House Speaker Pro Tempore Chuck Clemens.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
The members will please remain standing. Joining us today to sing the national anthem is the Flagler College Key of C's Chamber Choir, led by Director Kip Tacey. Director Tacey, you are recognized for the anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land
Members, you may be seated. For what purpose does Leader Grant rise?
To make a motion, Madam President.
You're recognized.
Madam President, I move that a committee be appointed to notify the governor that the joint session is assembled and ready to receive his message.
Leader Grant moves that a committee be appointed to notify the governor that the joint session is assembled and ready to receive his message. All in favor, say yay. Yay. Opposed, say no. Show the motion adopted. On behalf of the Senate, I appoint Senator Broxton, Senator Perry, Senator Torres, Senator Stewart, and Senator Hudson, who will serve as co-chair. And on behalf of the Speaker, I appoint Representative Tom Cow, Representative Masulo, Representative Stevenson, Representative Hart, Representative Valdez, and Representative Payne, who will serve as co-chair. The committee is excused to perform its assignment. It is my pleasure to introduce two very special guests who have joined us for this occasion. Speaker Renner's wife and life partner, Adriana Renner. And my much better half, my husband and partner in life, John Pasadomo. The joint session will stand in informal recess to await the arrival of the governor.
Madam President, the Governor of Florida.
Let the governor be received. You're up, buddy.
You gonna introduce me? Or just-
She is.
Okay.
You want a
okay.
water?
I'm good.
I'm good.
I am honored and thrilled to present our great governor of the state of Florida, Ron DeSantis.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, Madam President, members of the legislature, and fellow citizens, my duty under the Constitution is to inform the legislature concerning the condition of the state and to recommend measures in the public interest. Well, as we used to do in the military, here's the bluff, the bottom line up front. Florida is #1, and working together, we will ensure that Florida remains the #1 state in these United States. Florida is the fastest growing state in the nation. We rank #1 for net in-migration. We rank #1 in the nation for new business formations. We are #1 in economic growth amongst large states. Florida has more people employed today than before the pandemic. Our unemployment rate is one of the lowest on record, and it is significantly lower than the national average. And of course, as many of you know in this room, the last 2 years, we've seen the largest budget surpluses in the history of the state of Florida. And we do that with having the lowest per capita state tax and lowest per capita state debt burdens amongst all large states. We rank #1 in the nation in tourism, and we just experienced yet another record-breaking year for visitors to the Sunshine State. We are #1 in law enforcement recruitment and support. Florida's crime rate stands at a 50-year low. We are We rank #1 in the nation for education freedom. We rank #1 in the nation for parental involvement in education. We rank #1 in 4th grade reading and math amongst all large states, and we have the #1 public higher education system in the country. We are #1 amongst large states for the quality of our roads, and Florida has the top 3 cruise ports in the entire world. We rank #1 for space-related development, manufacturing, and flight. And maybe most famously, we rank #1 for protections of our citizens against the biomedical security state, from prohibiting jab or job mandates to banning vaccine passports to ensuring hospital visitation rights. We defied the experts. We bucked the elites. We ignored the chatter. We did it our way, the Florida way. And the result is that we are the #1 destination for our fellow Americans who are looking for a better life. Working together, we have met big challenges and we've led the nation on many big issues. We don't make excuses. We don't complain. We just produce results. Florida stepped up in times of crisis. In September, Hurricane Ian smashed into Southwest Florida and barreled across our state. It left catastrophic damage in its wake, including the destruction of the Pine Island Bridge and the Sanibel Causeway. Local island residents were told it would take 6 months or more to restore the bridges, and so they appealed to the state for help. We took up the challenge, and 3 days later, we opened a rebuilt Pine Island Bridge. And 2 weeks after that, we were able to reopen the Sanibel Causeway after it had been severed in 3 locations. We're joined today by Stephen Soloway. If you can stand and be recognized, he's a business owner on Pine Island. In the immediate aftermath of the storm, he was helping residents by boat bring supplies for people that were in need. He has said that the reopening of the bridge was a godsend for the folks on Pine Island. They are coming back, and God bless you, sir. Julie Wappis is the 4th grade teacher at the Sanibel School. She lost everything in her home and in her classroom. They had to have the school take place on the mainland, but because of the rebuilt causeway, a faster recovery has been facilitated, and the school is now back open on Sanibel Island. Thank you for your service. Also with us today is Barbara Morgan, a resident of Lee County. She was displaced from her home, very bad damage, and she was trying to get a temporary trailer from FEMA. Well, they weren't moving fast enough, so the state of Florida, in a first-of-its-kind program in the nation, stepped up to the plate, created our own program for travel trailers, and we were delighted to be able to get Barbara in a trailer on her own property as she works to rehab her home. Thank you for being here, and God bless you. We've also delivered for all Floridians much needed economic relief. Due to the excessive spending and printing of money by the federal government, Americans are living through the worst period of sustained inflation in decades. We've worked together to reduce the pain of inflation by enacting over $1 billion in tax relief in this current year's budget and by slashing tolls by 50% for Florida commuters for this calendar year. That will save some families more than $1,000. Thank you, legislature, for stepping up for our consumers. Florida is proud to stand for law and order. We are tough on crime, and we support the men and women of law enforcement. And we have made it very clear to prosecutors who believe they can disregard the law, you will be held accountable. Thanks to action of the legislature, we enacted a recruitment bonus program to recruit law enforcement officers from other states, and that program has surpassed expectations. Joining us today is Officer Mercedes Phillips from the Cape Coral Police Department. She was able to take advantage of this program, received a $5,000 signing bonus this summer, leaving Montgomery County, Maryland, now working in Cape Coral. And guess what? She got here just in time for the hurricane, but she wouldn't trade what she's done, and she's made a great move. So thank you for your service, and we're happy to have you in Florida. We believe that borders matter, and we have fought against illegal immigration in the state of Florida, from banning sanctuary cities to suing the Biden administration over its catch and release policies to transporting illegal aliens to sanctuary jurisdictions. We have put Floridians first, and we will continue to do that. We've also provided robust support for K through 12 education. We have enacted record increases in teacher salaries. We've expanded school choice, and we have protected the rights of parents. Joining us here today is Takesha Barrow, a fifth grade teacher from Renaissance Charter School in Wellington and a U.S. Army veteran. She had to leave the teaching profession for a time being. Part of the reason she came back is because we were increasing salaries. And so she's brought her U.S. Army experience back into the classroom. So thank you for what you do every day for our students. God bless. Joining Miss Barrow is Melissa Ann Matt. She's a seventh grade math teacher from Clay County, and she is the 2023 Florida Teacher of the Year. Thank you for what you're doing. And keep up the great work. Thank you so much. We're also joined by Alicia Ferrant. She's a mother of 5 who attend Orange County Public Schools. She was a concerned parent a year or two ago because she saw that there was inappropriate material in her children's library and school, things that were even pornographic. So she raised the issue. She got a positive result, but she decided to get more involved. And in this past November, she was elected to the Orange County School Board as a parents' rights candidate. Congratulations to you and best of luck. We believe in workforce education, and we've expanded opportunities for Floridians to obtain certifications and credentials. A 4-year degree from a traditional brick and ivy university is one way you can be successful. It is not the only way. Joining us here today is Kirk Corwin. He's a driver with Walpole, Inc. He was able to get his commercial driver's license through one of our programs here in the state of Florida. He was also spared his job when the legislature came in and we protected against the vax mandates. So thank you for stepping up, and thank you for fulfilling an important role in our economy. Four years ago, the state was producing about 600 truck drivers a year. Now, through all of our initiatives over the last 4 years, we're capable of producing 3,500 truck drivers each and every year. You want to talk about supply chain, you want to talk about making sure our economy runs. These guys are really important for that. We're also here with Rianne Champion, who fulfills another very important role in the state of Florida. She's recently graduated from the nursing program at Seminole State College. I think, as many of you know, there's a nationwide nursing shortage. And so what we've been able to do with the help of the legislature is put record resources into our systems so we can train more Floridians to become nurses. Thank you for what you're doing. I know everybody appreciates having a great nurse. God bless. Florida has provided the strongest protections for medical freedom during the coronavirus pandemic of any state in the country. We have prohibited COVID shot mandates in schools. We have banned vaccine passports, and we have protected Floridians from losing their jobs due to their personal decision about whether to take or not take the COVID jab. We're joined here by Dr. Tim Boyette. He's a radiologist, and his job at a hospital in the Panhandle was saved due to the actions of the legislature to provide protections for all Floridians. No Floridian should have to choose between a job they need and a shot they don't want. Thank you, doctor, for standing strong. With your support, we've ushered in a new era of stewardship for Florida's natural resources, securing historic funding for water quality and Everglades projects, improving our water policy, and utilizing technology to combat things like algal blooms and red tide. We promised to leave Florida to God better than we found it, and we are making good on that promise. November's election results represent a vindication of our joint efforts over these past 4 years. The results also vest in us the responsibility to lead and provide us the opportunity to shoot for the stars. Boldness, be our friend in this endeavor. We have a lot we need to accomplish. Our $2 billion tax cut package is the largest tax cut package in Florida history. It will help many who need relief from inflation, especially our Florida families. By permanently eliminating sales tax on all baby supplies, diapers, wipes, clothes, cribs, strollers, we will be able to say that in Florida, having a child will be tax-free. We are proud to be pro-family, and we are proud to be pro-life in the state of Florida. Floridians are also harmed by inflation when it comes to the prices of prescription drugs, especially due to pharmacy middlemen. We must bring transparency to the system so that Floridians can save money on their drugs. We need reform of the PBMs. While our economy has consistently outperformed the nation as a whole, Florida's lawsuit-happy legal climate is still holding us back. The legal system should be centered on achieving justice, not lining the pockets of lawyers. Speaker Paul Renner is stepping up to deliver much-needed legal reform, and I thank him for helping Florida reach its full economic potential. Thank you, sir. Our state is growing. Americans are voting with their feet, and we need to ensure that we're getting ahead of the population expansion by accelerating infrastructure projects. Our Moving Florida Forward infrastructure initiative will expedite 20 major interstate and roadway projects over the next 4 years. This will allow these projects to be completed a decade ahead of schedule. And just think of how much time that will save Floridians from having to sit in the awful traffic that they sometimes have to do. We also need to ensure that our supply of housing is adequate to meet the needs of those in our workforce. Workers who make our economy tick should be able to find a place to live that's affordable in their general area of their jobs. And I want to thank President Kathleen Passidomo for tackling this issue head on, and I look forward to working with her to deliver big results. We must continue our stewardship of Florida's natural resources by supporting additional water quality and Everglades restoration efforts, enhancing protection for our coastlines, and establishing the Indian River Lagoon Protection Program. We are truly making history with our conservation efforts. Let's not stop now. We have rejected the biomedical security state in Florida and have provided protections for Floridians against unwanted medical interventions, but those protections are set to expire in July. It's important that we make all of these protections permanent. Protection from medical authoritarianism should not have an expiration date in the free state of Florida. We also need to protect the free speech rights and conscience rights of physicians. The medical establishment whiffed an awful lot during COVID, and physicians who follow the evidence should not be penalized simply because they buck a stale consensus. We must continue our momentum with K-12 education by increasing teacher salaries, enacting a teacher's bill of rights, providing paycheck protection for teachers, expanding school choice, and fortifying parents' rights. Our schools must deliver a good education, not a political indoctrination. And it's sad that we have to say this, but our children are not guinea pigs for science experimentation, and we cannot allow people to make money off mutilating them. Chloe Cole is now a young adult, but she was receiving puberty blockers at age 13, and she underwent a double mastectomy at age 16. She's now an advocate against allowing these procedures for our children. Chloe, thank you for your bravery. And the people of Florida and the legislature should heed your advice and provide protections against these procedures. The massive amount of fentanyl being trafficked across the southern border has devastated families across our nation. Kim Kelly from Jacksonville is joining us. She recently lost her son Palmer to fentanyl poisoning, but she is sharing Palmer's story because she wants to see additional accountability. Thank you for your bravery, and we're so sorry for your loss. We need to increase penalties for fentanyl dealers, especially those who target our children. And to do that, we must treat them like the murderers that they are. We must further strengthen our laws against illegal immigration by enhancing employment verification, increasing penalties for human smuggling, and further disincentivizing illegal migration to the state of Florida. Florida is not a sanctuary state, and we will uphold the rule of law. Joining us here today is Stacy Kazuba. She's from Sarasota. Nearly 2 years ago, an illegal alien broke into her home and sexually assaulted her. He should have never been in this country in the first place. And if the federal government had done its job like it's supposed to, Stacy would never have been victimized. Enough is enough. Thank you for being willing to speak out and to share your story. We also need to ensure that our bail system is conducive to public safety. Dangerous criminals should not simply be put back on the street like we see what happens in states that have gone so far as to abolish cash bail entirely. Police officers should not have to repeatedly risk his life to apprehend the same criminal over and over again. We also understand that part of fighting crime is to protect Floridians' right to defend themselves. A constitutional right should not require a permission slip from the government. It is time we join 25 other states to enact constitutional carry in the state of Florida. The Chinese Communist Party represents the greatest economic, strategic, and security threat that our country faces. We in Florida have long recognized this and have taken action, such as by banning the CCP's Confucius Institutes at our state colleges and universities. Now we see the CCP trying to make strategic land purchases across the U.S., and our message in Florida is very simple. We will not allow land grabs by CCC-backed businesses in our state. I am happy to be joined here by our First Lady, my wife, Casey. We got Mason on the lap. There he is, sitting there. Over the past 4 years, she spearheaded efforts to help our youth avoid drugs, promote emotional resiliency in schools, and provide a pathway to prosperity for the less fortunate. She also gave birth to our daughter, Mamie, and most recently, fought a battle against breast cancer. I was here last year saying we would be able to announce that she was cancer-free, and I can tell you she is cancer-free and she is doing better than ever. Now, she's taken her experience as a cancer survivor and helped to launch the Cancer Connect Collaborative, which will rethink Florida's battle against cancer by breaking down longstanding silos between researchers, cancer facilities, and medical providers to provide and improve research and treatment. And I want to thank her for taking her experience, as difficult it was, and applying it in ways that are going to help people battle cancer. Thank you so much. So we find ourselves in Florida on the front lines in the battle for freedom. Together, we have made Florida the nation's most desired destination, and we have produced historic results. But now's not the time to rest on our laurels. We have the opportunity and indeed the responsibility to swing for the fences so that we can ensure Florida remains number one. Don't worry about the
Follow and engage with C-SPAN on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. C-SPAN.